Good morning. I am Dr. Kanhu Charan Patro. Today, I am going to discuss about how to analyze a brain tumor on CT and MR imaging. So, when you are seeing a brain tumor in the CT or MR, what to see? So, we have to see many things. One is the origin, shape, size, side, intensity, lobar distribution, number, supratentorial versus infratentorial, edema, enhancement, local spread, mass effect, intraaxial versus extraaxial, mild midline shift, gray-white relationship, ventricular obstruction, ventricular effacement, solid cystic or cystic lesion, margin, calcification, hemorrhage, MRS characteristics, diffusion restriction, perfusion, meningeal evaluation, periosteal reaction, tractography, and multiplanar evaluation. So these are the all things we have to see. Apart from after all, we have to give a good summary. So first we have to see where is the origin, whether it is a dural origin or is a parenchymal origin or a pituitary origin or pineal origin, so or vascular origin. So we have to find out what is the origin. It may be from the origin we can tell it is a dural, it is a meningioma, it is a glioma, or it is a pituitary adenoma. Intraaxial versus extraaxial. So you have to tell about this intraaxial versus axial. We can tell whether it is intraaxial versus extraaxial. Mostly extraaxial lesions in the brain are schwannomas and meningiomas. If you can see, this is called CSF cleft. The CSF cleft is a picture of extraaxial origin. We can tell it is extraaxial meningioma, or we can get parenchymal lesion. Intensity, you can analyze the lesion comparing to the background. We can say it is a hyperintense, it is hypointense, and this area is the isointense. So this is the thing we have to understand, and you have to characterize the lesion with the comparing to the background. Side, we have to see whether it is a right side or left side. There is no tumor is a predilection to right side or left side, but we have to define it is a right side lesion, right-sided lesion, or left-sided lesion. Shape, so again irregular shaped here. Pain parenchymal lesion we can call as a glioma here or butterfly glioma, but some globular lesion in the pituitary, pineal, and in the cerebellum like medulloblastomas, they are mostly circular or spherical lesions. So in this way we can define also the lesions. Size of the tumor, any lesion, we have to give the dimension. We have to measure with MRI scale, and width, length, and breadth. We have all things we have to measure. Margin. There are two margins: infiltrative margin and clear margin. Mostly high-grade gliomas you can define with a clear margin, but in low-grade gliomas you can have an indistinct margin, and we cannot define proper margin. So when there is enhancement pattern, high-grade gliomas, we can define good margin. When it is not a good margin, we cannot tell it is a low-grade glioma. So enhancement pattern is better to evaluate the proper margin. Tentorial distribution, we can say it is a supratentorial lesion or infratentorial lesion. If mostly gliomas are supratentorial origin, infratentorial origin are medulloblastomas, pilocytic astrocytomas, ependymomas in the children. So we can define in this way supratentorial and infratentorial distribution. Lower location, most of the tumors are seen in the frontoparietotemporal region. You can see here frontotemporal lesion, you can see and tell about which lobe it is crusted. So you can tell here this lesion is confined to the frontal lobe. Midline crossing, some tumors, mostly butterfly gliomas, lymphomas, can cross the midline and cross the plaques to go for others, to go to other side. This is called midline crossing. Gray-white matter junction, gray-white, we can tell about the where is the lesion, either gray matter, white matter, or gray-white junction. So if you see these lesions are here in the right side, the multiple lesions in the gray-white junction suggestive of metastasis. But other lesions, mostly cortical lesions, mostly seen in the oligodendrogliomas are cortical lesions, and but gliomas can happen any part of the parenchyma. Local spread, any lesion, we have to spread the, we have to tell about the spread of the lesion. You can see here a medulloblastoma, how it spreads to the brainstem or pons, and how it goes to prepontine cistern. You can tell about the cervicomedullary extension. We have to, in all directions, super or inferior, medial, lateral, medial, lateral, we have to tell about this. Anteroposterior, you have to tell about the extension one by one. Single versus multiple lesions, there are 2-3 things comes in our mind. One thing is the brain metastasis, another the CNS lymphoma, third thing is the multicentric glioma, fourth is the multiple schwannomas and multiple meningiomas in the neurofibromatosis background. So mostly these are the multiple lesions, and all others are mostly single lesion. Edema, you can get a edema, no edema, minimal edema, extensive edema. Mostly edema we can see in the T2 weighted image. We can see the pathological fluids. We can see here T2 weighted image. So it is if you compare it on this lesion, the edema is more. It is a disproportionate edema. So it is most common in the metastatic lesions. Midline shift. So if the lesion is big or edema is more, then it presses the midline, but it does not cross the midline. So it needs a midline shift. So we have to draw a line in the mid of the anterior to posterior, and we can measure with MRI scale whether it is a 1 centimeter, 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 centimeter or 0.7 centimeter. We have to tell about the midline shift. Ventricular effacement, some lesions when press the ventricle and make a narrow ventricle, you compare into this here, comparing to left side, right side is narrowed. This is called ventricular effacement. It may be due to the tumor or may be due to the edema. Some lesions in the ventricular third ventricle, some lesions in the third ventricle, some lesions in the going to the ventricular aperture. Outflow, it causes outflow obstruction and dilatation of the ventricles. So we have to see the ventricular outflow obstruction either is there or not. Calcification, another thing, when you are thinking of calcification, we have to see in the plain scan, and mostly good thing is to see in the CT, plain CT. It may be punctate, it may be nodular, it may be cluster, maybe ring or course. So depending on the type of calcification, you can define your tumor easily. Some tumors have a hemorrhage, bleeding. So you can see here some hemorrhage is there. You cannot differentiate from the calcification or hemorrhage or hyperintense lesion. So the best thing is to go for the susceptibility weighted phase image. You can see here there is a blooming, and this is when you are thinking of a hemorrhage, you ask for is SWI sequence or susceptibility weighted phase sequence to rule out to visualize the hemorrhage. Again, one thing you have to find out whether this lesion is solid or solid cystic or cystic. This is a solid cystic lesion, cystic as well as the solid here. The solid is the more component. So mostly gliomas and high grade gliomas have a solid cystic lesion, and metastatic lesions a solid cystic lesion, pilocytic astrocytoma solid cystic lesion. So we have to define is a solid or cystic or solid cystic. Enhancement pattern, it may be a nodular enhancement, patchy enhancement, and ring-like enhancement. Ring-like enhancement, patchy enhancement goes in the favor of high-grade gliomas, and in small enhancement, it is intermediate or maybe high-grade glioma also. So we have to see which type of enhancement here, and you can define your lesion. Diffusion, when there is high-grade lesions, diffusion weighted image. This is a diffusion weighted image in which the diffusion in which we can see the restriction of the water molecule diffusion, which gives a hyperintense lesion in diffusion weighted image, means there is a high grade malignancy. To how to measure, this is called apparent diffusion coefficient. This is the what is the hyperintense in ADC map? It is hypointense. So you can have some value. You can ask your radiologist, please give the radiation ADC value so that it will be better to evaluate how much it will help into the tumor staging and prognosis of the tumor after treatment. Chemical composition and MRS value. If there is, we can measure the chemical composition, mostly choline, creatinine, Na, lactate and lactic acid, lipid and alanine. Alanine is mostly used for the meningiomas, lipid lactate for the necrosis, and mostly seen in the lipid lactate peaks in the metastasis, radionecrosis, lymphomas, and choline peak you can find in the gliomas, and choline creatinine ratio is increased in the gliomas, and more in high grade, more choline peak you will see in the high grade gliomas. Na neuronal activity will decrease if there is a neuronal destruction, like a high grade gliomas. Perfusion, if there is a high grade glioma, there will be more neoangiogenesis, there will be regional blood flow will increase, and you can see the hyperintense area. So this is the called perfusion scan, and you can see, analyze whether it is a highly malignant or non-malignant. You can see the perfusion by seeing the perfusion scan. Some meningiomas, they constantly irritating the periosteum and causes periosteal reactions and skull lesions. So we have to think of when there is a meningioma, you have to see for hyperostosis. We can see in the plain CT or bone window in the CT scan, it is better to evaluate skull reaction or hyperostosis or periosteal reaction. Meningeal situation, some tumors or some metastatic lesions have a leptomeningeal metastasis. You can see that meninges are not normal. You can, this is thickened and continuous enhancements. You can see the spinal cord here, the meningeal enhancements. It is mostly seen in the metastatic lesion, the breast cancer, and some medulloblastomas where there is, you can see the CSF seedling and you can see the meningeal metastasis. Tractography, another is the very good thing. You can tractography, you can see the neuronal tracts connecting the brain, so interconnection. So it will help you when you are going for neurosurgeon is going for the surgery, they can evaluate which tract is involved and how it will guide them for good surgery. And tractography also is a good technique to guide the neurosurgeons. Apart from that, after all, always you evaluate multiplanar evaluation in axial, coronal and sagittal sections. You have to analyze the tumor in all sections and all slices. After that, you have to give a good summary in a paragraph manner from all, take your data from all 28 things, and you can make a summary. Thank you very much. Hope you like it, and if you like it, please share it and comment, and so that I can improve myself. And you can subscribe my channel so that in future when I will upload, you will get a alert about the new video, educational video. Thank you very much.